What's up, y'all? I'm out here on the range, as you can see behind me, on a cool sunny day. A little bit colder than I'd call for if I could special order some weather, but the wind's staying nice and calm right now, so it's turning out to be a really nice day to do some testing. All three of the tests I've got planned today are actually 9mm, so this one right here obviously is a 9mm test, and there's some fancy looking Nosler rounds. So of course I've got the jelly contraption ready to roll with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now one test is all I've done so far. It was a really interesting test. Tracks on the backside, one of them snuck up here because it didn't act like it's supposed to, but I should have plenty of room as long as this stuff acts right and doesn't go into the other block. Now, as you can see, as always, I've got a heavy clothing barrier on the front with a layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one here is some Nosler Defense Bonded. This is their bonded stuff, 9mm plus P, 124 grain with the tipped bonded projectile. That's what the TB&D stands for. Ballistics on this is saying 1200. Now, I don't know what a barrel length that's out of, because on their site, I'm hoping it's a typo, because on the ballistics for this stuff, everything is correct except for the test barrel. They've got it listed as 24 inches, and I have to assume that's incorrect because that's well within the point of diminishing returns for a 9mm, I'm sure. So it's got to be a typo, so I don't know what the test barrel length is. As you can see, pretty neat looking cartridge here, brass case. Your projectile's got that blueberry looking thing on the front of it. It's just a tip though. It's nothing fancy like a safety slug or anything like that. It is sure enough a bonded expander. It's just got that tip on it to supposed to keep from clogging, and they claim it aids in feeding. So if you got something that's real finicky about a flat point, maybe that'll help it. But we'll give it a couple chances to see if it does any good against this heavy cloth. I've got 2 different lengths here, the same stuff I've used in the previous one, the Mete MC9 with a 3.1 inch barrel, and then my G17 with the 4.5 inch barrel. I'm keeping them all the same. I feel like y'all would rather see the consistency between the same different tools. If you'd rather me mix it up a little bit and give you a little variety instead of the G17, I've got a couple more 4.5ers, and then I've got some close to this Canik, not exact, but I figure y'all like the consistency anyway. But anyhow, hopefully this fancy stuff gives me some good performance, because it was definitely pricey. Let me get everything set up and let's check it out. All right, let's see how much we can squeeze out of these blueberries. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each one of them, starting with this MC9 first. Again, like I always mention, if you're not familiar with this lab radar, you're gonna get multiple velocities. Your large number is at your muzzle, and then the 5 additional, one is at 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here. And then you've got 10, 15, 25, and 50. So we're looking for 1200 on this, but no idea what to test barrel again, because surely to goodness, it ain't really 24 inches. Ooh, that's kind of loud. 1082. It's definitely loud. 1087. 1100. 1071. And 1089, so again, a far cry from the 1200, just like that last 124 we tested. Now, it wasn't saying 1200, but that's a pretty good ways off right there, and that's some loud stuff. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average that time was 1086. We had an extreme spread of 29 and a standard deviation of 10.6. So 1086, I just don't know. Like, I'm just now, I don't have the best hopes after that last test I did. Maybe these little blueberry tips on there will do it some good, because it's definitely going to need to be engineered well at those speeds. Let me get it reset and see what the G17 does. All right, let's see if we can speed them up with this 17. Based on the difference I got on that last stuff, I don't know if we'll pick up enough to hit 1200. We'll get close, I'd say, but I don't know that we're going to hit that. 1132. 1161. 1209. 1152. And 1122, I'm gonna say that 1209 is not correct. I'm going to delete that one, I believe, and run another round. All right, after looking back, I did take that 3rd round out of the equation. That just seems like way too far out of the realm of the other ones. It's possible that it is correct for sure, but let me know how y'all feel about me taking stuff out that's way out like that. This time I think it's warranted, because just looking at the other ones, there were some other spreads that were like 40 or so. Let's just run this one anyway. We got the other chrono, so just take this for what it's worth. Hopefully it did get rid of it, because it's still saying 5. I think I got it. and then 1172 for 6, but I'm pretty sure it only got 5. Let's see what the average was. All right, so it did fix it up for us and just took the 5-round average after getting rid of that other one. So getting rid of that one and replacing with that 1173 or whatever it was, we got a 5-round average of 1148. Stream spread was still 50 with a standard deviation of 20.5. So I don't know, maybe I'll just leave them no matter how far they out. Are they out? It could be valid, could not. So whatever the case, I'll probably just leave it from now on. But in any case, 1148 still short of 1200. I think that speed is probably enough to do what it needs to do, as long as that's a good projectile. So if you remember on that MC9, it was 1086, so 62 feet per second faster with the longer barrel. So not a big difference, 6% or so, 7%. I'm worried about this MC9 with that speed, with that projectile there. Hopefully that little blueberry insert does some good and does what it's supposed to do. But let me get this stuff reset and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's blueberry, don't give me the blues jelly time. I'm gonna put one through each barrel length, starting with the MC9 first. I'm really worried about this one. This blueberry tip is gonna have to do its job for sure. Let's see what happens here. All right, that should have been another good one. I see an awful long track. Let me go see what I got. All right, definitely not what I was expecting from that down there. It was a long track for sure, but not in a totally bad way. So let's see what this G17 does. I think this is gonna do pretty well now after seeing that right there. See what happens. Again, I want to mention on that velocity, I'm probably not going to change that anymore because, you know, we've got, you know, I had some that was 40, 50 off. So just to save y'all in the comments, just to save any nonsense about them trying to make ammo look better or worse, I'm going to just leave them all from now on because I don't want any kind of controversy. But normally, if it's that kind of a spread, I can hear and feel a difference, and I didn't. That's the only reason I felt I should throw that out. But let's see what we get right here anyway. I think I went really close to that other one, or let me see what I got down there. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. I had to do a little flipping of the block here because that second one went right beside the other one. So this is a top view. This would have been from the top the way I sent them down here. So on the bottom is the one from the MC9, and then on the top is the one from the G17. And I didn't flip this one because I don't want to mess up my sides to do my test over there, but same deal. Bottom MC9 and the top is the G17. So despite all this disruption that you're looking at here, what we got here is just kind of unimpressive. This disruption right here is 100% multiple tumbles. Now, I don't have an ultra high speed camera, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, there are multiple tumbles in that right there. The projectile sitting down here sideways, the other one's sitting backwards, so it tumbled even at least once somewhere along the line. So other than that, it didn't get a whole lot of expansion. It came in here, definitely got some expansion because you got an expanded projectile. After all that disruption there, it kind of fizzles out here, goes into the second block. And again, it does have some expansion, but not very much at all. So I don't know if it was a case of that little insert didn't come out fast enough, came out too fast. It kind of reminds me what I'm seeing here so far of certain calibers of critical defense. That red insert, it definitely does help from complete clogging, but it's almost like they're pre-clogged, so you never get really full expansion. But then again, on the top here, that's the G17. Pretty much the same deal, but just not near as much disruption, so it didn't tumble around near as much. Drops the little blue insert. It's actually two pieces of it right there, so it must have split in half. Carries on through this first block, again into the second block. This one goes about an inch further because it's definitely got less expansion even than this one did. So as far as the penetration on them, the one from the MC9 is out here at 22.5 inches, and then the one from the G17 is out here at 23.5 inches. So big time penetration on both of these. Not what you're supposed to get because it just lacked the expansion that was needed. Here's a close-up look of it again. The top G17, bottom MC9. Yeah, that's a bunch of disruption on the bottom, but like I always say, that tumbling is absolutely just chance. It's absolutely chance. You're not guaranteed any of that. As you can see after that, they both keep on going into the second block. And then there's your projectiles. The one on the bottom, MC9, oddly enough, it got more expansion, probably just because all that tumbling around. And then the top, the G17. Not a whole lot, though, from either one of them. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. I was actually a little bit misled in the gel there. This one's from the MC9. This is the G17. I think the G17 actually did get just a hair more expansion, but still, neither one of them got much at all. This may be what you can expect from these. I don't know how these things are supposed to act. It may be a case of like a critical duty round where you're just not going to get a lot of expansion no matter what. Now the blue that you see inside, that's still part of the little blueberry insert. It's got a dome on the top and a blue post that goes all the way down this round. Not all the way to the bottom, but a good ways down. So that's fused in there now. It's basically stuck in there. But you can see as far as expansion, not much from either one of them. You got a couple little petals sticking out there that didn't do anything much, and not a whole lot of lead coming out with it. But let's measure them and see what we lost. I know we did lose a little bit. You can tell just from looking. They started at 124. This one from the MC9 is 122.6, so a little bit lost there. And then this one here from the G17 is 21.8, so a little lost on both of them. I don't know that if they count that little blueberry as part of that weight or not. I assume they don't, but maybe they do. And then as far as the sizes here, they look really similar. This one here from the MC9, you got 428 and 420. So again, not a whole lot of expansion there. And then from the G17, you got 449 and 427. So neither one of them again did a whole lot in the way of expansion. And there you go, y'all, the Nosler Defense Bonded with that blueberry tip on it. Nothing really impressive to me at all here. You know, if I had these and this is what I had to use, I'd use them and they would get the job done like I mention every time, as long as you do your job. But these things are just way too expensive for me to go purposely looking for these and get the kind of performance that I saw out here today. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call it right there for what I think was another pretty underwhelming 9mm round. I don't think I'd call this stuff a total failure. Maybe I would, but I just can't imagine this is the performance that you can expect from this stuff. I feel like it just got hurt by that cloth. The speed just wasn't enough. Whatever the case, it just did not do it out here in these conditions. After seeing how this stuff performed out of these barrel lengths, maybe that spec on their website showing a 24-inch test barrel for this stuff ain't a typo. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Do any of y'all out there actually have some of this stuff? If you do have it, what are you running it in after seeing the performance out here today? Are you second guessing that? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. If you did enjoy the video, take a second to reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you get notified when I upload new stuff. Like I always remind you, if you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links in the video description. I personally wouldn't recommend picking any of this up, but if you do grab anything after hitting up those links, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Once again, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for showing the support that y'all do. I've got one more interesting test planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.